So in this video series, we are going to learn about the Pandas Python library that can help us in order to analyze the data, and it is very important as far as the machine learning or the data science career is concerned. So guys, basically, first of all, we are going to have a brief introduction about the Pandas Python library, and also we will see how you can install the Pandas library using VS Code. So guys, Pandas is a Python library over here, and it is used in order to analyze the data. So this is a simple definition of the Pandas Python library. You can simply install in the VS Code using the pip command. So this is the command in order to install the Pandas Python library inside VS Code. So guys, simply let us go to VS Code over here, and simply let me just open the terminal over here. So simply you can say pip install and then followed by the pandas keyword. So guys, this is the command in order to install the Pandas Python library, and since I have this library already installed, I can simply provide the pip command along with the list over here in order to see whether the Pandas library is getting listed. So as you can see, this particular command is used in order to check what are the different packages or the libraries that are installed in the Python environment over here. So we have NumPy and then Pandas and the other required dependent libraries that are already installed over here. Now once you have the Pandas library installed on your system, you can make use of the Pandas library in order to analyze the data for the machine learning and the data science activities. So guys, over here, what is Pandas? Basically, it is the Python library that is used for working with the data sets. We are going to check the different examples of the data sets as well as we are going to move forward in this video series. Apart from this, it has functions for analyzing, cleaning, exploring and manipulating data. So guys, this particular statement helps us to understand why we can use the pandas. So basically, it can be used in order to analyze the data. Large data sets can be analyzed very easily by using the pandas library over here. We can clean the data, we can also explore the data and describe the data in our own format, and then apart from this, we can also manipulate the data based on our project requirements. Now guys, the name pandas has a reference to both, that is panel data as well as the Python data analysis over here, and it was created by McKinney in 2008. So guys, basically this is as far as the history of the pandas library is concerned. Now what can pandas do? Basically, it can help us to give the answers about the data, such as whether there is any correlation between two or more columns. So guys, if you have noticed the data in the Excel sheet, we have rows and columns inside the Excel sheet, and similarly we will be able to read the data of Excel or the CSV file or the JSON file by using the pandas library, and you will be able to understand what is the correlation between two or more columns when you read your data from the external file. Apart from this, if you have the numbers inside your data, then what is the average or the mean value of all those numbers, what is the maximum value and what is the minimum value in any of the rows that are present in multiple columns in your external data. So guys, we will check all these things with the help of examples as we move forward in this video series. So let us understand how we can use the pandas library after we have installed the library over here by using the pip command. So guys, let me just create a new file. In this case, simply I will name it as intro.python file over here. So we have intro.py file in this case. Now the very first statement in order to make use of the pandas is to import this particular library. So we have the import keyword followed by the pandas library and then followed by as pd over here. So guys, you can make use of the short form, that is pd, in order to refer to the pandas library over here. So simply we will say pd followed by dot, and then we can create our own data set over here. So guys, before making use of the pd, let us create our own data set. It is equal to we are going to create a dictionary in this case, and basically the key value pair that we are going to include is the name. So let us say we have three names over here, that is John, and then we have Peter, and then followed by another name. So let us say we have Smith over here. So guys, we have these three names that are present for the name key over here, and then apart from this, let us also define their age as well. So simply we will say John age is 22, Peter's age is 21, and then followed by Smith age is 23 over here. Notice that we have provided the single or the double quotes for the string data type in this case, and we have provided the numbers without the single or the double quotes over here. Now guys, this is a simple dictionary that we have created inside Python programming language. Now in order to read this as the pandas data frame, simply we can make use of the df, that is data frame over here on the left hand side as the variable. It is equal to pd followed by dot, and then we have something called as data frame over here. As you can see, this is the class data frame. It is a two-dimensional, size mutable, potentially heterogeneous tabular data. So guys, similar to how we view the data inside the Excel sheet, we are going to read this data set into the data frame of the pandas library, and then we will print it on the console. So we have this data frame, and then it is going to take one parameter, that is data over here. So simply we are going to provide the data set as the parameter to this data frame class, and then what we have to do is simply we have the print statement, and then on the left hand side we have provided this variable name, that is df, which stands for data frame. We can make use of this df variable in order to print on the terminal over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code from the top right button on the VS Code over here. So when we run this code, as you can see, we have name and age as the column over here, and then we have three rows in this case. Since we have three number of names over here and their corresponding age as well inside our data set, it is able to read the key, that is name and age, as the columns of this data set, and then we have the rows that are represented by these indices, that is 0, 1 and 2. So guys, this is the default behavior in order to read some data set into a data frame by using the pandas library. Apart from this, instead of having these indices, that is 0, 1 and 2, you can name those indices as well. So guys, before naming them, basically this is called the index over here, and on the top these are the columns of a specific data set or the data frame. So guys, after the data set that we have provided, we provide comma, and then we have something called as index parameter, which is going to take a array, and then we can name our indices. So let us say instead of 0, 1 and 2, we will name it as x, y, z over here. So simply inside the single or the double quote, we provide x followed by comma, and then we have y followed by comma, and then we have z. So guys, basically we have this value as the list of all these named indices that we have provided within this index parameter. So let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal once again. So as you can see, instead of having the indices, we are now having the XYZ as the labels for all these rows over here. So guys, this is a very simple example that we have seen in order to create the data set and read it as a data frame by using the pandas library over here. So make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to understand the difference between the series and the data frame in pandas. Till then, stay tuned.